Well, good evening, everybody. I hope my audio is working. I'm going to check because I had a webinar I did recently and I recorded the whole thing and my microphone was off. So we've got that on. Okay. Just before we kick off, can I have you guys just click the little hand symbol and put up your hand if you can hear me okay. You can see my screen okay. Okay, I'm seeing hands, thank you. All right, that's great. You can put those down again. Now, I just got delayed because I had a call from Kevin. He's trying to log on. Normally he would just log on from his phone, but he's had something done to it recently. And I think all his passwords have been reset. So I've asked him to make a phone call to someone to try to get that password, and he'll join us as soon as he possibly can. Okay, let me just make sure my screen is not paused. Yep, there we go. Fantastic. Well, let's get started, and Kevin will join us as soon as he possibly can. Tonight, what we're going to look at is the National Construction Code that was announced last year and comes into effect on the 1st of October this year. All states were supposed to come into line on the 1st of October this year. Most states aren't ready, but of course, Queensland said, yeah, we'll be ready. So it will affect Queensland construction from next month. So what I'm going to do now, if the technology works and it doesn't fail me, I'm having so much trouble with my mouse. You have no idea. It only happens on a webinar. Okay. Sorry guys, just bear with me. I literally, there it is. I've got some videos and some handouts, and it means flicking between my presentation and where these are saved. But every time I put my PowerPoint on full, my mouse disappears. Now I can't get it back.
On there, mate.
You there, Kevin?
Yeah, mate.
Okay, well, I'm just mute yourself. I'm having mouse trouble, trying to find my mouse, my mice.
He's in a hole somewhere.
What was that?
He's in a hole in the wall somewhere.
I know, I think he might be. This is oh, there it is. Now, if I bring it over here. Aha. Well, I'll be. There's me.
Ring?
I'm just going to do it this way, guys. It's not how it was meant to be, but okay. Can you see that video on screen?
Yep.
Overwhelmed by the increasing cost of living? Worried about your future retirement? Your road to wealth starts here with Property Club. Kevin Young established Property Club in 1994 with a passion to help everyday Australians build a property portfolio to help achieve their financial freedom. Property Club is exactly that, a club where members share their valuable insight on how to become successful in property investing. With the help of our highly trained branch managers, we work tirelessly to help you achieve your financial goals through our innovative property acquisition system. Property Club has created over 5,000 property millionaires, and we're committed to supporting and educating the next generation of successful property investors. With free membership, there's no excuses. Join Property Club community today and discover how you can unlock the secrets of wealth through property investments.
Okay, now I just got to get the mouse over here. Yay. Cool. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint now?
Yep.
Great.
You should have had it.
Well, we've got Kevin on the line, and this is Kevin here. He's the founder of Property Club. Millionaire at 27 years of age. He's been in the game for 50 years, and he's Australia's most successful residential real estate investor. And Kevin literally has just a great passion and a heart for people. He's an advocate for the little guy, and he just wants to see more and more people achieve financial freedom because he knows how easy it is. Okay, there's me. I've been in the game for 25 years. I was mentored by Kevin. I've known him since 1997, and that's when I got switched on to property. Tonight's webinar is for educational and entertainment purposes. It's not to constitute financial advice. Property Club strives to educate and mentor our members, empowering you to make wise, informed decisions. And you'll find that the collective knowledge inside Property Club is probably better than you're going to find anywhere when it comes to residential real estate investment. So first of all, why do people invest in real estate? Which of those things is most exciting to you, Kevin?
I was poor and I saw people rich and I wanted to join them.
Yep.
And then it sort of mushroomed because I had my old school mates meeting every second year, and they're like running on their spot with no plan to gain wealth and then retire and then go from the pension. So after a couple of meetings with me nagging, they said, well, if you put it in writing so we can follow it, we'll join it. And they did, and they're retired now, and I'm still running around the country.
Yeah. Well, effectively, like sometimes people say, oh, you know, I don't want to invest in real estate, and it's like, well, I don't either. But I want all the things on the screen there. I wanted to get rid of the income tax bill. I wanted to be able to shave as many years off my home loan as I could without making extra payments. And the more investment properties you have, the more years you shave off without making extra payments. So long as you have the right strategic finance package put together, the right strategy. You want to build a solid financial future so that not only can you retire early, but you can retire financially independent. So they're the things that they're the reasons why people look at real estate. So it's just a vehicle to create wealth. But not only that, it is the safest asset class. Everyone goes home to a roof over their head. You know, businesses can go bad, the economy can turn down, all things can happen, but still people need somewhere to live. Bricks and mortar offer the best leverage. You can control many assets using other people's money, and the tenant and the taxman will pay most, if not all, of the costs while you build your wealth. Now, I did a webinar a little while ago on the drivers of wealth being leverage, compound, and inflation. And you can find that on the Property Club YouTube page. When you go to YouTube, type Property Club, look for the logo. I think it's the third one down. There's two others above that call themselves Property Club 2, somewhere on the earth. But if you don't understand the forces, those drivers of wealth, you won't know how to harness them. And sometimes you can be fearful of something that you should be embracing. We'll talk a little bit about that. So it's the investment decisions that you make, especially in tougher economic times, that are going to have the most impact on your long-term financial outcome. By investing confidently to both safeguard and grow your assets, propelling toward your financial goals, those drivers of wealth will allow you to do it. Economic storms will actually catapult you. And for those who think you've got to bunker down when the storm comes, just remember, the Sydney to Hobart yacht race happens every year. They leave the same port and they land in the same port, even though the conditions are different. You see, a wise investor will learn to adjust his or her sails to capture the forces that are prevailing at the time. Pessimists will complain about the wind. Optimists say, no, we're positive, it's going to change. But leaders are the ones who adjust their sails and continue to progress forward. Okay, well, that's why we do real estate. So for those of you who are considering a real estate investment, you need to understand that there's a thing called the National Construction Code. And I'm just going to look at it briefly. We've got renovations and I couldn't find the cable to fit my second monitor, so I got some notes here. Okay, let's just have a look at this. The National Construction Code is a comprehensive set of guidelines that outlines the standards and requirements for building and construction in Australia. The 2022 version is the largest single amendment since the NCC's inception, with new state level variations being put in place. Why does it matter? Well, the NCC sets the bar for safety. This is what they say anyway: safety, health, accessibility, and sustainability in all new building projects. It will directly impact design criteria, construction costs, and the long-term property value. Compliance is not optional. It's mandatory. Okay. Okay, the cost impact. The NCC 200 or 2022 is estimated to add an average of $30,000 to each new residential build. This additional cost is significant. Significant for first-time investors, or first-time home buyers. It's significant for all of us. Energy efficiency. New builds must meet 7-star energy ratings, primarily affecting homes in Queensland. While this means higher initial cost, it is projected to reduce annual power bills by $185. The new code mandates at least one step-free entry in homes and additional silver standard accessibility features. This could make properties more attractive to a broader range of tenants or buyers. That's the upside, but you pay for it. Compliance timelines. These rules become mandatory in Queensland on the 1st of October, but there is a 12-month transition period. Other states may opt out leading to regional variations. And the NCC covers design, construction, plumbing, drainage, but does not extend to areas like gas fitting and electrical work. I believe you've got to have wide corridors that a wheelchair can go in, etc. And it's all going to add a cost. The silly bureaucrats. Okay, let's look at these. Budget re-evaluation. Account for increased initial investment in your cost models. I mean, your yields will go down, won't they? Leverage the energy efficient requirements to make properties as green homes, which may yield you a higher rent or a resale value. Use the new accessibility features as a selling point to attract a more diverse tenant or buyer pool. Keep abreast of which states are opting in and out of the new codes and factor that into your investment strategy. Now, that doesn't mean you automatically invest in a state that doesn't have the codes, because there's a lot more. You got to look, you got to crunch the numbers and all sorts of things, but this will impact it. And talk to experts. Stay in touch with the property club. We work with the architects and the builders who know the new NCC rules so that we can be empowered to help our members avoid unnecessary mistakes. You may have seen this before. Kevin has had this for a while, and it was done back when we were projecting low inflation for a long, long time. But we've moved into high inflation in 2023, which actually means that the cost of living is more expensive. When you look at the population growth, you look at the wage growth, you look at the dwellings, 18,000 back in 73, estimated to be 7.3 million in 2053, but that's assuming 40 years of low inflation, which we haven't got at the moment. So we need to do something. I'm not going to keep you long tonight. I want to be able to go back to Kevin, and we're going to have a bit of a Q&A with him. But I wanted to introduce Torrison Homes, who's a very trusted builder with a rich history. And the reason I'm going to show you these points on Torrison Homes, and the guy from Torrison Homes was going to be here with us last night when I thought the webinar was going to be on a Wednesday night, but unfortunately it clashed with another, so I made it Thursday. And I contacted him the other day and said, hey mate, I forgot to tell you the webinar's on Thursday. And he goes, bummer, I got my daughter's parent-teacher night. So, but I want you to see this because, you know, a lot of builders have gone bad and a lot of people are scared at the moment because they think, well, I don't want to build with the builder because what if the builder goes bad? Well, build with a good one. These guys have the runs on the board. They've yet rescued approximately 170 residential builds after the builders who are building them went into receivership. And the QBCC does not let you go and take up the builds if another builder has gone bad unless you're solvent. Now, I don't get to see a builder's books. I don't go there and he opens up his financials and shows me where he's at, but the QBCC would. Innovative tools, they've acquired an iHab, which is a leading construction platform, etc., etc. They've got 150 combined years of experience in the team, 5 licenses. There's the personnel with their experience, and their core values are to remain financially strong, reliable, innovative, and unmatched expertise. They do build a nice product. So they're financially secure, largest takeout by #1 builder in QBCC history, highest build qualities, efficient build times, 26-week guarantees, and this is what they're offering to all Property Club members. And he was going to be here to tell you about it tonight, but I can do it. $10,000. You can take it as an upgrade on your new investment property. You can use it to reduce your mortgage, that is your loan repayments. I'd take it and use it on my non-deductible debt. or you can get $10,000 worth of cost of living vouchers. Imagine $10,000 worth of Domino's pizzas or something. How disgusting. It's up to you, but there's all sorts of options. There's one of their homes. So the offer is applicable only to all house and land packages sold on land that is registered now or will be registering prior to the 30th of September. To take advantage of the offer, contracts have to be signed by 5 o'clock on the 30th of September Queensland time, and it's worth up to $40,000 to you because you've got the $10,000 bonus from Torreson and you get $30,000 effective equity because the price of builds are about to go up by $30,000. And as soon as they do, that'll drag the price of all properties up and you will have your equity. Okay, let me see if we can get this mouse thing going. Wow. Cannot believe how hard it is to find my mouse. There we are. He suddenly turned up. Handouts. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to share the Torreson Homes company profile with you. All right. I don't know if these things are automatically going to send to you. So just in case they don't, what I'll do is I'll put them on the screen now and I'll show you these and then we can email them to you tomorrow if this software platform didn't automatically send them. And the software platform probably does, it's probably just me. So this is an infographic just about the western corridor of Brisbane. I mean, a place like Ripley, which is further west than Ipswich, when I first heard of it a number of years ago, I thought, oh my goodness, is they building out there now? But when you see what they're doing and the money that is being spent, anybody who owns property further in, like in the Logan Reserve, Logan type of area, you're going to do incredibly well because the population just continues to bolt and bolt. So we've got incredible population growth expected, which is incredibly positive. We'll send you this, which is an overview on Southeast Queensland. I'm not going to go through it all now, but you can see what the growth drivers are there. The jobs, infrastructure spending, you know about the Olympic Games coming up in 2032. Then we've got this, which is more about the western corridor of Brisbane, and it'll go through, just show you all the phenomenal spending that's going on. Like, look at the new Coles distribution centre. Anyway, so we'll get all this stuff to you. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. It's called the cashback form. And by completing that, including, if you scroll down, you'll see here what you got in super, fill that in, because there's some really amazing strategies where your super can, if you use your superannuation correctly, and I'm not saying correctly as in if you're not doing it this way, it's wrong, but I mean, if you structure yourself in a specific way, it's probably a better way of putting it, you can quarantine your personal investment properties from sale and capital gains tax in retirement. And there's a webinar on the Property Club YouTube page. It'll say something about SMSFs, property, little known secret, something like that. You can have a look at that in your leisure. But fill in this cashback form, because everyone's journey starts with where you are today. You know, when you put your destination into your sat nav before you drive somewhere, it picks up where you are and it charts the journey forward. And this form allows us to get a snapshot of your assets, liabilities, income and expenses. We give it to the broker, and the broker will come back and say, what would be potential? Like, could you potentially afford one of those properties? Could you buy something in super? Could you buy something out of super? Could you do both? So it doesn't mean you have to, but it empowers you if you know what you can do. And then there's the company profile, and you can read all up about them. I mean, we try and, best we can, we try and vet the builders. We black ban them if we have any wind of them doing anything dodgy to anyone, not even to a property club client. And you see, this is the area that Torsion build in. So if you can find a registered block of land anywhere in here and sign a contract by the 30th of September, you'll get $10,000 bonus and you'll beat the NCC charges. And of course, we'll help you look for that land. We're not going to throw you out there on your own. All right, well, Kevin, can you unmute yourself, please?
Sure.
And I know that you haven't had the time to sit down and had a good look at the NCC personally yet, but just from what you've seen tonight, and the offer from Torsion, and where we are in our economic cycle, do you want to just throw your wisdom into the conversation for a minute?
Well, we can start with the paper streaming about high inflation, how bad it is. And inflation is an investor's best friend because it's going to drive up property prices, it's going to drive up rents, and that's exactly what's happening now. And getting in before it becomes a vital cost to construction is obviously going to save you money. I've not seen anything better than property for building up a wealth, and if it's done properly, reducing your tax to zero to make the taxman help you get your wealth, and getting the cashback form in there so the banks don't take all your money.
Yep, thank you. The other thing with inflation, you said it drives up the value of their property and it drives up the value of the rent. It effectively smashes and destroys the value of their debt too, much the same way as it smashes and destroys their savings. They leave it in a bank or they bury it under the under the mattress or something.
Good point.
Yeah. So if you store your wealth in hard assets, you're going to do well. Just, I can't give advice, but this is for entertainment and entertainment purposes. Well, let me entertain you with a thought. The stock market is probably one of the most dangerous places you could have your wealth invested, especially right now, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to launch a poll. Yeah, my mouse is working. Yay! So excited. Okay. Now, here we go. I'm going to launch it. Bang. Okay, it'll display on your screen briefly. You can choose more than one, but which of those do you consider most important right now? If you could just click. Don't be shy. We've got nearly 50% of you have voted. We're up to 54.6. Come on, guys, you can do it. Quick, quick. 60%. I'll share the results with you. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and closing the poll. Okay. Reducing my income tax, shaving 10 years off my home loan. Okay, the number one is securing my financial future. Number two is getting rid of that income tax. Cutting your home loan and adding to your portfolio as soon as you responsibly can came in third. And something else the Property Club can assist with. Okay, there's one more poll I'm going to give you. Who's interested in considering, because we have to focus our time and energy on the people who are wanting a free NCC property because time is running out. So if you're thinking, oh no, look, I'm probably not going to do anything for 12 months, well then that's okay. But we just need to put our efforts into helping find registered land for those who want to take advantage. 48% of you have voted, 52. Come on, guys, this is fun. How often do you get to participate in the webinar? We're up to 63% and it stopped. So I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll, someone snuck in there, 65%. About to close it. Share it. Okay. So about a third of you are the ones who want to do something. So we'll be in touch with you as soon as possible. You'll need to fill in that cashback form. That's the first thing, so we can get an idea of what is responsibly possible. Now, Property Club, this should be comforting to you. Property Club doesn't have exclusive listings on any properties. If we did, we'd be beholden to the seller, ringing up every day, how are you going? We sold that property, blah, blah, blah. No, rather what we do is we work with our members and we try to develop a strategy that's going to best suit you. It's not one size fits all, it's horses for courses. And then we go to market and we source the most appropriate property. And because of our national footprint and developers wanting to work with us and to get in the door, they're prepared to do things such as the Torreson homes. And they're prepared to do that for Property Club because they know, you know, having a good collaborative working relationship with Property Club is going to be good for everybody, including them. So it's good for you because we can get good deals. All sorts of homes across southeast Queensland, and the price, well, it depends on, you know, your taxable income, etc. But it's probably doable for somewhere around the price of a cup of coffee a day. You'd be surprised how affordable it is. If you didn't hear my SMSF and real estate webinar that I hosted recently, and you are a property investor, I highly encourage you, go to the YouTube page, find it. That's the link there, but you can't click it. But yeah, go to the Property Club YouTube page. We've already done that poll. So in closing, chase your dreams, invest in tangible hard assets, not promissory notes, in my opinion. Live a full life, be generous to others, retire in comfort, keep your properties, don't sell them. And you can speak with your property mentor after tonight. But we've finished the formal part of the presentation as such, and I'd just like to open it up for questions. So anyone who has a question, please type it in. And I am going to rely on the fact we've got the Brains Trust here tonight. Oh, give me a break. The mouse is doing it. Oh, I don't get it. There we go. All right. Type away. There was a couple of comments there earlier saying they couldn't see the video, no screen. But that's obviously been rectified. Please tell me it was rectified. I'm sure someone would have told me if you weren't seeing my screen. All right, guys. There's good NRL on tonight. Broncos versus Melbourne Storm. So if you haven't got questions, oh, here's one. So are you saying that each Australian state can choose whether they implement the NCC changes? It seems like each state has a variation of the changes, and each state might be introducing it at a different time. So I don't know that they can opt out completely, but there are changes. And I've got something you might like. No, it doesn't matter. If you go and Google it, you can go and Google NCC Australia and then scroll down, down, down until you find the one that's put out by the Housing Industry Authority, HIA. And they've actually got a little short YouTube video with the guy explaining the Queensland, Tasmania, New South Wales, etc. So if you want to see what impact it's going to have on another state and when, go and have a look at that YouTube video via HIA's website, or I just Googled it and found it on HIA. All right, any other questions? Here's some. Does it apply to renovations or extensions? No, I don't believe so. It's new builds. But that's my understanding. I only know it to be new builds. So don't shoot me if you find out it does. You can bet your bottom dollar that if the government can find a way of taxing you and wrap it up in some green, warm, friendly, environmental 7-star rating, yeah, you know what they're like. They have no clue how to manage money. And so they just keep taking more of it. You're welcome, Flo. I hope you got something out of it tonight. All right, any other questions? Kevin.
Nick, there is they can do. It's maddening that there's a shortage of properties and they're too dear, and they're going to increase the price of properties. It's just bizarre.
I know. And they've changed the tax rules to de-incentivize investors to ever buy a second-hand property again, which means that the bottom end of the rental market, the cheap market, all those investment properties are getting snapped up by owner-occupiers who are renovating them and moving in.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of disadvantaged people in cars and caravans and couch surfing at the moment. It's very sad, very sad.
I've been frustrated for 30 years, the life of the club, in how the politicians treat us, landlords and tenants, as a slot machine. It's not right. I finally had enough, so I've started a political party. So it's called the Owners and Renters Party. We need thousands to get up get with us. And the problem is politicians won't take any notice of us because they regard us as silent victims. You can keep on putting more and more charges on them, and there's just no way can they get into the media to scream, or can they organise themselves as a group to have a say in the election. So the Owners and Renters Party is coming out. So hopefully you'll join the Owners and Renters Party and we can start lecturing these governments and change them. For example, stamp duty shouldn't be charged. We all voted for the GST, and that went with the promise that they get rid of all the inefficient state taxes like stamp duty and land tax. The land tax particularly is very expensive and to find out and bill, and it's getting worse. And what happened, the GST came in and the state governments kept on with these taxes, fees and charges. So with the advent of the Owners and Renters Club, I reckon we can get some really good changes coming through and get these politicians using their head and using our money wisely, not just because they want to splurge, they come up with the new tax. And the Palaszczuk government is coming up with a ripper. Now, if you've got a couple of properties in your name and you've got a company that perhaps do your work, whatever it may be, you were below the land tax threshold. But they've decided we're going to change the rules so we can just group everything together and put you in a big tax situation. That's just, it's incredible they're getting away with it. And the media, I did press releases on it, and media are picking it up. But if we have a political party, it'll be a different story. So final words for me is I'm very encouraged by everyone coming on. The more people that we can make millionaires, the stronger we are, the stronger we grow. And Nick and my aim is by Christmas, have 5,000 people really on their way to becoming millionaires. We've got a tried and true formula. People don't know it. If we get there, and if you want to join us as a property mentor or a branch manager, just let Nick know. And we're expanding our branches now. So, and we're looking at opening up the Property Millionaires Club we've got because they were like you, listening to one of these, and then now they're millionaires. So I think I'll merge the two clubs together so you can get some advice from them. I apologise for my throat. I swallowed some Silverfrost when I was a kid. All right, that's enough for me. No questions. Nick?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions. Kerry has asked what is the link to the video on the secret, the little known secret for using your super to not sell your properties in retirement. I don't know the link off the top of my head, Kerry, but if you just go to youtube.com, search for Property Club, scroll down, I think we're the third one down, you'll see the logo, click on that, and then just click on videos and you'll find it there. All right, Rod has asked for an interest rate prediction, Kevin.
I think we've hit the peak and inflation is steadying and going down. The incredible thing is that it's below 6, but the federal government, in their wisdom, increased their fees and charges and taxes by 7.5% when they're trying to get us to do that. And of course, there's no one saying that out in the media, but the Owners and Renters Party will get a bit of a strife going. So I'm not suggesting fix it at this stage because there's a few storm clouds on the horizon that could impact interest rates. So I think it's a good time to be variable. I'm variable, and I think they will come down. There's no justification for high rates rather. It just gives money to the banks, and no politician can tell me how a richer bank brings down inflation. With the members we got inside the club, we have a lot of good ideas, and a guy came up about a month ago and said, make the people put 2% extra onto their GST, don't raise interest rates, because it's counterproductive. So that's a real good idea that the club's taking forward. Don't give it to the banks, add it to your super fund, so at least it'll come back to you when inflation comes down. So if you've got any ideas like that, let us know. And if you need anything, Nick's the boy to go to. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, everyone.
Kerry, you've asked what the changes were to second-hand properties. In ScoMo's last year as treasurer, he removed the ability to depreciate the fixtures and the fittings, which is also referred to as plant and equipment. So the building itself is depreciated over 40 years at 2.5% per annum. And that's the slab, the bricks, the roof, the tiles, the solid construction. But everything in it, from the dishwasher, plus the wiring, plus the cost of the electrician to do the wiring, down to the light switches, the curtains, the carpets, the vanities, every single thing in there are called non-cash deductions. So they're non-cash deductions because you didn't pay for them. You didn't have to pay for carpets through the years. You didn't have to pay for the curtains or the wiring or the dishwasher or the vanities. And you could argue and say, well, yes, I did. I paid for them when I bought the property. Well, you bought the property with other people's money and claimed 100% of the interest. So effectively, the curtains and the carpets and the fixtures and the fittings are being claimed in the sense that you're getting a tax deduction on the interest. But our tax system is good in that it gives you the ability to double dip. So if it's a new property, you can double dip and get non-cash deductions. You can get tax deductions for all those non-cash items that you didn't incur an expense for throughout the course of the financial year. And so that's why you can actually have a property that's positive cash flow, but it's still helping your tax and it's still clawing money back from the tax department. A lot of people think unless their property is running at a loss, the negative gearing side is not going to work, but that isn't correct. Speak to your property mentor, they can help you with all of that. If interest rates come down next year, do you see a bit of a market frenzy? From Charles.
Is that for me?
Yeah, you can answer that.
Well, there's a frenzy on buying because there's not enough stock to go around. And it's just going to get worse because there's more and more people coming. There's 400,000 people coming in from overseas in the next 2 years, and we're not building 400,000 properties. It's going to be mayhem, and people are sleeping in their cars, doubling up, couch surfing and stuff. And the government just aren't doing a thing about it. They should reverse Scott Morrison's stupid rules so cheaper, older properties can be held by investors and charging cheaper rents. So I think the voice is a big, huge distraction. So that the real problems that the government's created, I'm not talking about those things. The 2015 APRA decided in its wisdom to tell the banks to charge interest to the landlords, that's right. But on top of that, principal, they wanted the landlords to pay the property off. Of course, they couldn't handle those costs, so they had to sell a lot of investment properties, which started the rent crisis that they're all talking about. So all we've got to do is just reverse stupid government meddling. And it was meddling that caused the whole problem in the first place. Bureaucrats should stick to their jobs. And the same thing with this current thing we're doing with the change to construction. Just when we're trying to bring the price down, just when we've got to build more properties, they come up with all these extra charges, fees. It's crazy, crazy. Now, 52% of the cost of a new build is government greed. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. So it makes a good investment.
Yes.
But, you know, when we grab, it's going to go up in value, and I just feel sorry for the people out there that can't get going. So if you're in that spot and you can't get going, you think money's stopping you, come back through, Nick, and we'll find some ways to help you.
All right, there's a few other questions starting to come in now, so I'm going to move through them really quickly. One says from Steve, how is the political party going? But you've already touched on that. Do you think the Labor government will introduce any rent rise caps as there are in other countries? I think the Victorian government's already talked about that. You wouldn't put anything past these stupid governments. They really are pathetic, but anyway.
The rent freeze doesn't work. When we had a shortage of bananas went from $2 to $17. Next year, forced more supply meant that price of bananas came down. Just imagine that they somehow put a freeze on banana prices. What's going to happen? They're not going to produce more bananas, are they? So if they bring it in, two things will happen. Property rents and prices are going to go through the roof. Because when it does start their rent period, the landlord's going to say, well, hang on, I've got to get more rent for the next 12 months, and my body corporate's just got up 40%. That's now $10,000 a year. I better charge more for the rent. And that's what happened overseas. So, yeah, I think they'll do it, but the club's really how you're going to make money out of it.
All right, thank you. Now, the next question was just back asking where that YouTube video is. If you go to Property Club, there's, as I said, there's a different ones. I think it's the third one. Look for the Property Club logo, click on that, then go to videos, and you'll see one called Unlocking the Power of SMSFs, Retire Comfortably and Keep Your Investment Properties. That is really powerful, that strategy. If you don't know that strategy, you need to hear it. Just while I think of it, Kevin and I are flying to Sydney for the state conference. We'll be speaking at Burwood on Saturday the 9th, and then the following week, Saturday the 16th, we're in Melbourne. So if you guys can get to Sydney on the 9th or Melbourne on the 16th, please come and say hello. We'd love to see you. Darren said thanks, and you're welcome, Darren. I'm interested in the changes per state in the NCC and having difficulty finding the info on Google. Would appreciate if you could send me the link if you have it handy. I'll have a look in a sec. When the new NCC laws to be imposed in October, how much more in the building costs are investors expected to pay? With the Housing Industry Authority estimates it's going to add $30,000. So a $650,000 house now will be $680,000, and a $750,000 will be $780,000, etc. All right, and that's it. I think we should stop because we're coming up for the hour, and I think anything more than an hour and people get upset. But is there any final words, Kevin, you want to add?
I love property and I love making millionaires. So we've done more in Australia than the rest of the world put together. So we say we've created 5,000 millionaires. Sorry for my voice. I'm real keen to help another 5,000 people. And I know it's going to be you guys out there. Guys and girls, thanks for your time tonight.
Did you guys, so before you go, did you guys get those handouts? Were they there for you? Are they in the little chat panel for you to download? Like, can you guys see them? I don't know. Because I had handouts for you and I thought this software meant that once I shared it, you guys could just go and click away and get them. But anyway, I don't know. I have no idea whether you can see them or not. No one's going to tell me? All right, well, let's call it a night, guys. Thank you. And go and check out the Property Club YouTube site. There's some good webinars. One on the drivers of wealth being leverage, compounding and inflation. And that is a powerful webinar so that you can understand how to set your sails in times of economic uncertainty. You don't want to be hiding from the wind, you want to be harnessing the wind. So thank you very much. Good night, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Thanks, guys and girls. Catch you. And thanks, Nick, for your time. Appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, pleasure.